it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist, and welcome to Star Codes, where today we're covering a really big event, one of the pivotal moments in 2021, and that is the Aries full moon happening on October 20th at 3:57 p.m. in Greenwich, England, which is ground zero for astrology, and that would be 10:57 a.m. Eastern Time and 7:57 a.m. Pacific Time in the US. Now, why is this such a big event? Because Mars, the ruler of Aries, is fully activated, and Pluto, which is the co-ruler of Scorpio along with Mars was the original ruler of Scorpio, is also fully activated, and that sets up the onset of a few months of buildup to the big event coming up in February, which is when we have the Pluto return in the US chart, meaning the first time since July 4th, 1776, that Pluto will come back all the way around to its original natal position. And Pluto in this setup, which you'll see in a moment for this Aries full moon, is going to be fully activated for this final big approach. So this full moon occurs at 27 degrees. The moon will be at 27 degrees Aries, opposite the sun at 27 degrees Libra. That's what creates the full moon effect. And next to the sun will be Mars. So the sun and Mars will be in a conjunction. Mars will be at 23 degrees next to the sun at 27 degrees. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, Mars rules Aries, and this is the Aries full moon. So the Mars will be opposite the full moon, the moon in Aries. And that sets up a lot of tension that needs to be resolved. And because we're in Libra, which is where Mars and the sun is, that tension will involve how we relate to each other, whether we are in harmony and balance or not, and also the justice system, because the scales for Libra govern the justice system. Now, Aries is very much engaged with your ability to create forward momentum, energy, passion, and a fresh start. So even though this is a full moon, because we have the first sign Aries opposite Mars, which rules that first sign of Aries, there's also a lot of new beginnings energy with this particular full moon. So moving on to Pluto now. The sun and Mars create a double square to Pluto, and the moon creates a square to Pluto, and that means there will be a very intense T-square created. And if you look at the chart, which I believe is there, you can see that red triangle that's created where Pluto is being pointed to, Pluto at 24 degrees Capricorn. And here's the kicker. So this full moon takes place at 27 degrees, and that is the degree that Pluto will be at for the return in February, 27 degrees Capricorn. So that means now we are starting a period where the intensity will ramp up. We're going to really be feeling it. And this is across the world, because this forecast is obviously for everyone. So it's not just for, the US per se. It's just that the event is building towards that amazing return, which happens on February 20th. So the ruler of the first sign of the zodiac, Mars, squaring Pluto, that in itself is going to create a very strong purging effect, where Mars is firing up the purging and the empowerment as well, because Pluto rules power, transformation, and release, the purging. And those P words, by the way, the word power, P is a very powerful letter, and it is actually the 16th letter in the alphabet. And it governs actually being in power, but having to use your intuition in order to stay there, in order to not be toppled or taken off guard. So the intuitive side is also very activated because Pluto is incredibly psychic. The word psychic starts with P. You can look at many leadership positions, even the word position, many of them start with P. So you can look at, for example, a president or a prime minister or a physician or pharmacist or principal. There's so many positions that begin with P, and of course the word power does as well. So that theme is going to be very much in play here because everything related to powerful positions is going to be undergoing a purging effect. There will be an intensity to hold people accountable for where they stand in any respect, in their personal lives and in their public life. And again, we're having P words again. So the question is, with this T-square, what is being released? What compulsive patterns do you have that need to be purged? This is extremely powerful, volatile energy, and it is actually meant to be used in a positive way. Another P word, right? Positivity. So the forward momentum is speeding things up. We are all part of this major upgrade on Earth right now, and upgrades require a huge change and shift internally, and everything, of course, happens internally first. It doesn't happen externally. The external is a reflection of what we feel inside. So the prompting here is, and since Pluto is very engaged with your inner life, empowerment comes from within, purging comes from within, is to look at how we might be disempowering ourselves or how we might resist release. Okay? Now, on top of this, we have this opposition in the full moon. And that ultimately brings awareness by looking at the opposite polarities. So there's something that's going to be reflected back. That can be in your personal life. It could be worldwide events. Whatever that is, you want to consciously purge the habit, the perception that is outdated in order to rebalance that energy and stay grounded. Otherwise, that big tsunami effect of energy that's being in play now will sweep you up, and that's not what you want. You don't want to be going down the rabbit hole of drama or whatever comes up. It just is a way to stay empowered. Now, fortunately, in the numerology code, 10/20/2021, which is the date of the full moon, adds up to 8. And 8 is the number of strength. 8 is the infinity symbol. It literally symbolizes leadership, eternal life, abundance, courage, having a big vision, trusting in eternity, trusting in something that is greater, a force, a universal force that is there at all times. So basically, 8 is the number that gives you the strength to be connected to heaven and earth at the same time, because you're in that flow and you are in a place of trust. So that all you have to do is align to energy. 8 governs energy, the energy flow, right? The exchange of energy is symbolized by the 8. So when you are tuned in to that flow, nothing will feel off or wrong, because you are literally allowing yourself to be who you are in that moment and to tune into the feelings that you want to have experienced. So 8 is just a reminder of whatever you tune into is going to come back, right? So if you want to tune into abundance, which 8 represents as well, then feel that feeling. Go out in nature. Feel the eternal abundance of life itself. You have a choice in terms of the frequency you want to align with. And 8 is about that energetic frequency. So powerful number, and it governs financial flow as well. It governs the exchange of money. So it governs any wealth aspect in your life, well-being, which is feeling good, health. It is the gratitude for the items in your life that bring you pleasure. And of course, the ability to feel that abundance of confidence within you when you trust in the eternal. So then we have Mars. We're looking at all the players right now for this powerful full moon. So Mars governs your instincts, and Mars is the ruler of this Aries full moon. And the sun is conjunct Mars. So that means you can really apply your imagination, unleash your imagination, and it is lined up instinctually to passion. And it's a really amazing moment if you haven't felt creative or in tune with your imagination. This is firing you up to move into that space. And one way to do that with Mars is literally to move your body. You know, Mars governs physical exercise. It governs anything to do with, you know, moving your body in order to release tension, in order to feel the strength, in order to create that blood flow. So, and especially during this Aries full moon, you want to release any internal, you know, if you feel aggressive or you feel impatient or impulsive, physical exercise has such an amazing instant way of allowing any hot temper or any emotional attachment that is rigid to become flexible again. So leave room for that. Leave room in your life right now for those moments of movement, of meditation, and allowing your instinct to guide you. This is super important because as things heat up and intensify, you will notice that there will be a direction that certain parts of the world will veer towards, and you're going to have to make a choice on the energy flow, the frequency you want to partake in. And in order to do that, you need to be at peace, and you need to be well rested and flexible and open so that you have that clarity that allows you to not fall back into those old patterns. Remember, this is the first sign and the ruler of the first sign, so it's about letting go of so much. So this energy is also very, very creative. So you can channel it into any project. You can make a lot of progress now. And let me now touch on another big player in this particular full moon. The full moon is in Aries with the sun in Libra. Those are cardinal signs. Cardinal signs begin each season. And at this time, we have a new beginnings energy because 4 planets are stationing direct. Some already have. Early on the 6th, we had Pluto station direct. Now we have Saturn station direct right before the full moon, Mercury station direct, and Jupiter station direct. So 4 planets within a 2-week period are moving from retrograde to direct motion. And that's another sign that energy is speeding up. So we're being shown both in the numerology with the number 8, which is very energizing, and the whole understanding of how the planets move, and that when they change direction, there's a pivot point being created, and the fact that this full moon is in the first sign of the zodiac, indicating really a fresh start in so many ways, that, hey, this is a time to basically cut loose and let go, cut away, like basically allow the past to be the past. So the past has a big impact on us. It's another P word. And P, you know, a lot of these words that start with P are very powerful. They have a powerful impact on our life. So the past certainly does. You can get very much caught up in how things should be based on your past experience. And this is a moment where really there is going to be no guidebook, no playbook. that will allow you to even navigate this energy, because it will be so fresh, so new, ushering in something that has never been experienced before at this level in human history. So, sparks can fly when Mars and Aries and Pluto all come together. And then, of course, the sense of balance is brought in by Libra. So you want that inner tension that's coming up with this T-square between these two planetary rulers of Scorpio, which is such a deep sign. It brings up all the unconscious stuff, all the stuff that is below the surface. Scorpio allows us with the stinger to go and find the true source, the original source. And that original source is the universe, is source. So there's so much coming together here in this particular full moon that is just incredible and very, very exciting, including power. So let's look at that, because Pluto, the big planet, aside from Mars, that's really initiating this shift, is about power and empowerment. So when you start to own your own power, you start to utilize your voice, and then you become unstoppable. Unstoppable, just like Mars. So how you show up vibrationally is just as important as the things you say and the things you do. In fact, it fuels those very things. So if you really want to create a change in your world and the world in general, which always and only is created within you, that change is to change how you are showing up vibrationally. So if you show up agitated, which is the shadow side here of this full moon, angry, fearful, then hey, guess what's going to come at you, right? So you can start right now just grounding your energy, but coming to your heart center, asking, what do I need to know about the current situation? And see what surfaces. Maybe there are control issues to look at. Pluto governs control because it is aligned with power. So pay attention where you're trying to control somebody or something in your life. And now let's move to release, because Pluto also governs purging. So if you notice that fear or anger is coming up, deal with it. Don't worry where it's coming from. Don't go to the past. Oh, why am I angry? No, just acknowledge that it's there. It's coming up for you. It's an emotion. So you just acknowledge an emotion as it shows up. And just like you show up in the vibration that you wish to feel, when an emotion shows up, you acknowledge that in the moment. Acknowledge how it makes you feel in your body. This is super important, because we are physical beings, and our body is our first real physical 5 sensory organ that allows us to see, oh my gosh, something feels off or something's in the flow, and you feel that in your body. And I know you know what I mean. So give yourself permission to sit with that emotion as it comes up. And in the giving of the permission, it allows any other instance of that expression that's ever occurred in your life, that's ever been suppressed, right, to be integrated in you, because you're giving it your full attention. You're not judging the emotion. You're not trying to figure out why it's there using your mind, right, that whole mind stream. You're literally just being with the emotion, being with the frequency, and giving yourself that permission. And then that is the release. That is literally how you release anger and aggression and anything that comes up for you that is an interference frequency. The other thing I just want to mention here is we have a beautiful connection between Mercury and Saturn, which is very helpful during this full moon, because boundaries are extremely important right now, and Saturn governs boundary, and Mercury will have just stationed direct, which means it's at a standstill. And that when a planet is at a standstill, it's at its most powerful. So Mercury trine to Saturn is such a gift because it's creating wonderful new structures of communication, new honest ways in which we connect with each other. And so this is exactly what is necessary in order to move the whole approach, what we are talking about, what we are looking at, to be nourished from a place of true honesty, which Saturn represents. So Aries pushing ahead, Saturn, Mercury, and Libra keeping us in stillness. We always have both movement and stillness, whether it is in music or life itself. Libra likes to press the pause button to help us listen. The scales, right? We have two. We need to listen to stay in balance. And Aries is that internal fire, that passion that helps us to literally create something and just take the energy of inspiration and instinctual awareness and allow it to flow. Allow your creativity, to your juice to be activated. So again, remember that this is a cardinal T-square. Cardinal signs are about new beginnings because each of the 4 cardinal signs begin our seasons. They represent a new lease on life. So you want to stay strong. You want to stay really in a place of peace and passion. Listen to the P words. Anytime Pluto comes around, it's a chance to really allow us to own our life, own everything that's going on. Remember, when you own your own power and you utilize your own voice, you are unstoppable. And nothing will take you off guard. You will just be so present. You will listen. You will align to your breath. You will align to sound, breath and sound, the greatest healers we have. And you will be an instrument of peace during these times. So have a most magnificent full moon in Aries, and Mars is totally part of this shift. And to discover more about how Mars is impacting us now, along with Venus, the sacred masculine and the divine feminine, go to venusmarscode.com. That is where we look in detail at the sacred spiritual meaning of these times we're in and how within each of us this divine feminine and masculine energy is being recalibrated and rebalanced. So enjoy that free masterclass at venusmarscode.com, and I'll see you next week in Star Codes.